Hi again, everyone. Welcome back to Shining Empathy. My name is Joel, and this is your weekly reading for, oh my goodness, let me think of the dates here. I believe it's the 17th to the 23rd of October 2016. If I'm incorrect in those dates, I apologize, but I will double check that and repost the proper dates if necessary. So, weekly reading. Usual spread of strength, heart, and challenge for the week. What is our strength? What is going on with our hearts and in our heart center? And what are the challenges that we're looking at ahead? This is only, I think I just kind of squeezed into the wire there, barely, my full moon video. Apologies to anyone out there who tried to view it and couldn't. I, quite by accident, left it in private mode because I had to edit the video on YouTube, and while I do that I always make it private, but I forgot to just make it public. So apologies for that if you tried to access it and couldn't. It is up now for anyone to view, so, and I have reposted the link on Facebook. So in terms of the weekly reading, given that it's right after the full moon, I am anticipating seeing some similar things happening in this reading that are probably going to follow right from the full moon reading I did yesterday. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Let's get into it. They did not want to be shuffled for very long today. Okay. I'm going to pan the camera down here. Like that. Okay. So, our strength card. Bit of an odd duck here. Indecision in our strength spot. I kind of feel like we're being given some energy in terms of how people would normally be stuck in this position, like this person is sort of frozen to a state of inaction. This one, our challenge spot, I would say that that's absolutely what our challenge is right now, is that we're having to push against the inaction and try and make a decision, whether it be a passive one of just making a choice or taking some action and actually making something happen in one direction or the other. In our strength spot, I sort of feel like we're being given more motivation, like we have our minds much more clear about which way we would like to go at this point, and it's time that we made that choice. Okay, so if you're still sitting and you haven't made an actual like choice about it, but you kind of know what you want to do, or if there's an action that you need to take, some steps you need to start moving forward with, this week sounds like the opportunity to do that. You're kind of getting the green light there with this in the strength spot. Okay. No inaction, let's actually take some action this week, even if it's just a matter of making a choice. Let's see what our hearts have to say on the matter. Okay. So, there is something in the heart that is asking for more protection this week, more safety, more grounding. I mean, this is very much, it's funny that a chakra card would come up in the heart center. But I would just say that whatever is going on with our feelings this week, we need to feel safe. So check in with that. If we're feeling maybe really exposed and vulnerable at a time when we need to be making decisions about things, we need to create a safe space for ourselves. In my full moon reading, there was this thing about the sanctuary, and either creating a sanctuary for yourself or moving outside the sanctuary. But you need to be able to feel safe in order to move outside your sanctuary a little bit. Well, actually, I'll take that back. We don't need to feel safe to move outside of our sanctuary, but it certainly helps. Let's be real. So right now, our hearts are asking for more protection, safety. Just kind of check in with your feelings this week in terms of what might arise, and be very, very soft with yourself. Try not to put yourself in a position where you feel overly exposed, overly vulnerable. You want to sort of guard your feelings a little bit this week. Even in the picture here, I don't know if you can see that based on the light. I've been noticing that when I hold these cards up, it's just sort of like a blank slate sometimes. But what's kind of happening here with this card is he's got his hand over his heart and with the sword as well. So there's this idea of sort of guarding the heart this week. So keep that in mind. The world, and this is our challenge spot. So the world to me, I mean, it can certainly be like traveling the world, but much more so it's about gaining that larger perspective, stepping back and seeing the bigger picture. Unfortunately right now, especially because we're probably still stuck in this idea of, okay, well, like, we just need to make a decision about something, we can't necessarily see the bigger picture with that. We're so clouded with all the other stuff that kind of muddies up our minds when it comes to making a decision, especially big decisions. Do I go left? Do I go right? Do I, which path do I go down? It just becomes a challenge to step back and see where it's all going, see the bigger picture, see what this is all about. So don't worry if you can't see the bigger picture right now. If you want to make more of an effort to kind of like, see the bigger picture, by all means, but don't be surprised if you're met with resistance on that. Being in the challenge spot, I mean, you can approach it one of two ways. You can just kind of look at it like, well, when I try to see the bigger picture this week and I meet it with resistance, oh, this is kind of why, because it's, it's one of the challenges we're going to face this week. Or you can literally look at it in terms of like the kind of the warrior sort of thing, and it's just like, I accept this challenge and I'm going to work extra hard to do that. I tend to lean more towards the first one in terms of like, well, if it happens and I'm meeting it with resistance, then like I try not to push too hard, because it just means that it isn't necessarily meant to happen right now. The bigger picture will kind of fill in later in my feelings, in my opinion. So just, keep that in the back of your minds. All right. There we go. So yeah, it was just a quick little reading. There are definitely some similar aspects from the full moon reading that are kind of kicking through here, but it definitely was sort of its own thing this week. So just bear those in mind. I hope some of the messages connected with you personally. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to my my YouTube channel, Shining Empathy, and also on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, @Shining Empathy. Yep, and until next week when I do my my next weekly reading, I will see you then. Love and light to you all. Bye for now.